If Tyla wanted to use the word colored, that's good on her. Black Americans are just not going to engage with it. I have people telling me, oh, you need to educate yourself about being colored. No, you're not going to Jim Crow my black ass. She could take her ass back to South Africa where they got that apartheid going on. Go back there. It's okay. Take your colonized ass back there and let them call you colored. I will never take advice from a South African. Understand this. When will people realize that black Americans, we accept a lot of people in American music because we love to see other black people do good even if they are not from this country. But the moment that you try to be funny in our face and play identity politics, we still have the key to the gate. We still have the key to the gate. We still own the keys. She tried to play identity politics. The people around her tried to play identity politics and they lost the game. I'm sorry to tell you. People talking about we need to educate ourselves about being called colored. Understand, you must not understand how America works because the moment that black Americans open up that door to be called colored, guess what's coming behind there? Because you give them an inch here, they will take a mile. You're not going to Jim Crow us. No. This is why they did try to call people colored and blacks. They wanted to take the human aspect out of it. So being called people of color and black people is a very different thing. Now, if you don't stand on those values, that's okay, but we're just not going to consume your music. You do not have the privilege of having us be your fan base. It's okay. And trust me, when black Americans don't listen to it, nobody's going to listen to it. We are the trendsetters. They just steal the trends.
So welcome back to the channel. And listen, Tyla has sparked the conversation. And a lot of what the brother said right there is really true. I grew up in American culture. I lived in the Bronx. That's when I first came here. I lived in the Bronx for a while, but growing up in American culture is a whole lot different. And they did not read the room. They did not read the room. Now, I'm not going to go too much in the race thing. I just want to bring this stuff to you. Let me know what y'all thinking because, hey, it's a conversation. It might have come out the wrong way, but it sparked the conversation because I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't understand what colored mean between colored and black. So now we got 3 different kind of black people, yo. That is crazy. And if you guess what the third one is, well, you know. Yep, if you know, you know.
I don't know who the fuck misled you, young lady. You don't sit above shit I got going on. Your program might be ran a little different. My program, bitch, you gonna come over here and act like you got some sense and you gonna sit.
The internet is out here and it's undefeated. You know what I'm saying? It's undefeated, y'all.
Oh, I didn't know that saying colored people was considered as that. Oh my goodness. Someone should have told me that. Wait, but someone said that saying colored people is wrong.
What do we have here now? Ooh, come with me.
Hail Mary, run, Gritzy.
What do we have here now? Do you
Da,
want
da,
to
da,
ride
da,
or
da,
die?
da, 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 da.
What y'all about to do now? Y'all dragged Tyla to hell for saying that she was colored. This one is calling people colored. What y'all about to do now? I want to know how much hell y'all about to bring on this girl right here. We about to find out if y'all really hate Tyla because she said she was colored, or if y'all,
Man, it's crazy to hear some of these conversations
because she is African. We about to find out. If y'all don't bring hell on this girl right here, it's gonna tell us everything we need to know. I'm not a race expert.
Where is this girl from?
Tyla never called anybody colored. This girl right here, she's calling people colored. I wanna know how the race warriors are about to deal with this. I wanna see. Ooh, God is.
Oh, sure, I could answer that for you right there. The girl at the top, she looked like she's white American, if you ask me. Now, that's something you may hear a lot. Colored. That means they came from a place down south somewhere where that's how they talk. That don't mean it's right. But Tyla didn't have to call anyone colored. That wasn't what the conversation was about. The conversation was, we were like, we're not going to call you colored. Because in this part of the world, colored mean a whole lot different. But now that we understand colored mean mixed over there, which puts her a level of above black. And when you're trying to get into culture and you want to make yourself seem like you're a little bit better, it may come back to bite you in the butt, which it did. So this guy here, you can tell he's a fan. But how come none of y'all ain't listened to her album? It came out to everybody in the world, just not America alone.
You want to know what I find most ironic about this entire Tyla colored discourse and how Black Americans are displeased with Tyla for using a racially insensitive term within the context of American history and the Jim Crow era and racism? It's the fact that South Africans at large are really sitting up here trying to pretend like they've never been the aggressor at some point. Like they're really sitting up here trying to pretend as if at no point in time they've never been hostile and intolerant towards other Black people. Specifically when it comes to last year's Miss Universe, right? Because if I remember vividly, I remember when Chidima Adesina was trying to run for Miss Universe within South Africa and the way South African people treated Chidima and the way they rejected her and the way they started looking into her family history and blaming her for things that her mother did and basically petitioned to try and get her kicked out of Miss Universe. It's so funny that a lot of South Africans are sitting online talking about Black Americans being ignorant and intolerant and being jealous because a non-American woman has broken into the American entertainment industry and they're threatened by her. But when they were dishing that same vitriol and hatred towards Chidima Adesina, it was perfectly fine. I'm an African woman. I'm not even Black American, but I'm just sitting back laughing and I just think, you know, and I'm not saying that Tyla deserves this because of what has happened to Chidima Adesina, because she obviously doesn't. She had nothing to do with it. But I do think that it's the sweetest irony that South Africans are really trying to sit up here and rag on other people for being ignorant about their culture and their identity and being intolerant towards them, when they do have a history of being intolerant towards not just other Africans, but other Black people in general. Like, come on, bro. Like, are we really going to sit up here and pretend like South Africans don't sit up there calling Nigerian people and all the other Africans all these type of derogatory slurs for simply existing and migrating to their country? Don't make me fucking laugh.
Hey, listen, I can't. It's out there, man. Let me know how y'all feel about them comments. I'm gonna keep these mashups coming. Like I said, we sparked the conversation, so let's talk about it.
Okay. All of this discourse around Tyla not identifying as a Black woman is 100% okay. All of this discourse around why she's rejecting her Blackness, why is she accepting BET awards, is missing some historical context. Tyla is from South Africa, which has a completely different racial caste system. But as Black Americans, it seems that we cannot fathom, and rightfully so, that in other nations, there is more nuance to Blackness than just being of color or being Black. In South Africa, where there were literally laws upholding this racial caste system up until 1994, being colored legally afforded you more rights than being a Negro or Black person. Meanwhile, in the US, when we have conversations about Blackness, anybody who has a drop of Black in them was considered a Black person, no matter what. So when I keep seeing this recycled debate about Tyla not identifying as Black, I think we need to all just recognize that her and her team cannot just automatically adjust to the racial caste system that we have here. And it's obvious they've never experienced it or knew what to expect when it came to Black American culture, the way that her team is making her avoid talking about these issues. And we know as Black Americans, you have to talk about race. If you deny being a Black person or you even add nuance to being Black by saying, oh, I'm actually mixed, we take that as you're rejecting your Blackness. So to Tyla and her team, she cannot actively identify as a Black person when in South Africa, the way this caste system is set up, being colored is an identity in and of itself. It's separate from being Black. Of course, you're still of color when you travel everywhere and when you travel around the world. But in South Africa, it's a completely different beast. And I'm not going to place the blame on my people because I understand that we have been programmed to view race a specific way, in a way that is a binary. Either you're Black or you're white. But when it comes to this Tyla debate, I need us to be more open in thinking about the experiences of people of color in non-Western nations. Because two things can be true. Tyla can be perceived as a Black woman in other parts of the world, and also be a colored woman from South Africa. She's not wrong for saying that she is a colored woman when that is her experience in her home country of South Africa.
That's very true. The thing is the way she defended it, and then once she figured it out, not talk about it is what's making it worse. She had a time to clear this on the Breakfast Club, and that might have cost her. Let me know down in the comments if you feel like that. Did that cost her anything?
This is for South Africans and South Africans only.
Okay.
Tyla last album just did 3.5 thousand album units sold. What the fuck y'all at? Under one of my videos I made about Tyla, I got like 1 million views. South Africans tore my ass up. I'm trying to figure out, where are all of these people? Tyla can be in America and do X, Y, and Z. Tyla is in America making y'all mad. Tyla in America, Tyla in America, Tyla in America. What the fuck y'all South Africans doing? Why y'all not showing her love? What happened? Y'all Tyla fans be going so motherfucking hard in South Africa. I see why she had to come to the States.
And that's one of the things I asked. How come nobody listened to her music? Now, I could say if they say, oh, she streamed 40,000 and only 3,000 of it was in the United States, I'd be like, oh, okay, she good. Her fans around the world is still tuning in. But apparently no one tuned in for this. Who listened to it? If you listen to the Tyla album, let me know down in the comments if you listen to it. Because I want to know. I haven't heard it.
Tyla discourse has gone off the rails, and now many British creators are joining the conversation. There seems to be a clear contrast between those Africans who...
Everybody around the world has tuned into this conversation, and it is what it is. We got to talk about it, right?
Who have lived in America and those chiming in from the UK, in which the Brits are continuously speaking on American culture when you lack a concrete understanding of said culture and the context and framework of being Black in America. You guys dogpile on Americans because you've been socialized to believe that's okay. And you give space for xenophobia yourself in your comment sections by throwing out rhetoric that you've been taught your whole life. You throw out American exceptionalism every time someone challenges your worldview of an American because you inherently don't understand what you're commenting on when you lack the nuance, the understanding. And it's disingenuous to refuse to accept that Black Americans understand the history of others and have enough pride and autonomy to reject its legitimacy here due to its meaning for us. You being British or Black anywhere outside of the Americas or former colonies, you don't have the same relationship with race or being Black because you're not a product of slavery. And it's disingenuous to take the superior moral high ground that Americans are dumb and centering themselves when you can't even identify racism if it smacked you in the face. You consuming American media does not give you enough education in America, but especially not Black American history or culture, to comment with such authority. People are continuously conflating consumption with knowledge, and those two things do not go hand in hand. They never have. This conversation is no longer about Tyla. It's about those in the diaspora who actively come to America and seek American success and access to Black American spaces, culture, and the dollar, refuse to do the work to learn our cultural norms and respect those things. If you go to Dubai, would you respect Dubai's culture? You would, right? Well, why not ours? Black Americans are viewed with a certain level of hatred, animosity, and envy throughout the diaspora due to us being American and how America is viewed throughout the world. But in all your commentary, you forget that Black people are the colonized within the colonizing entity. So our history, our struggle, and our very recent oppression is real for us. So we are proud to be Black, and anyone who alienates themselves from that Blackness won't be accepted. Black Americans ourselves are multi-generational mixed people. We have several different groups within our own ethnicity, Creoles, Melungeons, Gullah Geechee, to name a few. To think we don't understand that colored in South Africa is a multi-generational mixed group is not only wrong, it's lazy, and it stems from your preconceived notions about Americans. Tyla had time to explain, but she chose not to in her initial interview, which on the Breakfast Club, which raised a lot of eyebrows. But she's in America, and any country and any culture can identify when something feels like a shrug to you and your people. Once again, I have to drive this point home that Black people in America are the colonized people. Our culture, Our history was created here in a vacuum through slavery, colonization, and a century of apartheid ourselves. So we know firsthand what it feels like othering and those who don't want to identify as such. We are pro-Black. Black American culture is loudly Black because Blackness is all we had to defy our former masters, build our culture and our place here. Many times Africans or others in the diaspora come to America and benefit off the fight of our ancestors have done for us to have equal rights in this country and align themselves with whiteness while spewing a lot of anti-Black sentiments and rhetoric. We've seen this time and time again. I've seen it within my own family. South Africans, Black British, and many people in diaspora know very little about America and Black American history or culture. No more than Americans know anything about South African culture or South African history. The difference is Americans aren't coming to your country telling.
Now, I know about it because coming from the West Indies, I learned about a lot of with geography, and I always wanted to travel. So geography was something I was always big on. So it depends on who you speak to. I know a lot of my friends are Caribbean as well. I came in, I was 9, and I grew up in American culture. I'm 40. I'm going to be 49 in a couple of months. So I've lived here my entire life, most of it pretty much. And I could say I'm an American.
Telling you your cultural norms, your reality, your histories don't matter without ever attempting to learn. You have to ask yourselves, why is it so easy to dismiss Black Americans when we feel slighted or disrespected? But you have normalized xenophobic comments and rhetoric towards us simply because we're American. In my time in South Africa, I lived there for 6 months. I was doing a study abroad in Cape Town, and I lived in Greenpoint, and I learned very quickly the racial dynamics were very different in South Africa than they were in America. It felt like I was kind of like in 1960s America. And I had to ask myself why every time I heard the term colored, I was triggered in class. We were talking about racial descriptions, and every time someone said they were colored, I was like, ugh. And it's because of the history of what that word means to me and my family here. Most colored people in South Africa would just be Black in America. And it's not that I didn't understand that there was a difference in both countries. It was, okay, I'm in South Africa now. I have to get over whatever I care about because this word here doesn't have a meaning to me, and these are people that matter. I understood that very quickly, but for some reason, you guys can't understand that when you come to America, which most people in the world do to make money, that same rule applies. Makes you go home.
Watching this video, you should clearly understand what the word means and why a lot of people are upset. Because if you're telling a bunch of Black people that you're better than them, but we want you to listen to our music, then they're not going to listen to the music. Then you go on the one person you had to address it, because once you speak to him, it would have went around. You had a chance to explain yourself, but you chose not to. I just want to come here and y'all going to love my music, and that's what's going to be it. But your PR people, they failed you. I'm not sure if you're ever going to recover, because you know what? You're colored. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know who else is colored? Drake. You know what happened to Drake? Well, the people chose. That's why Drake left the US, because we told him he lost the battle. And this is when you understand, like, yo, when it comes to trend making moves, Black Americans are the ones that do it. And it's crazy because there are not a lot of us compared to all the other races combined. But when you think about it, when we say no, it don't go nowhere when it comes to something pertaining to the culture. But I've already said too much. Y'all need to let me know down in the comments how y'all feel about this. I got another one coming where Black Americans are now going against Black Africans, or Africans going against Black Americans. But Tyla sparked this whole conversation, and it is a conversation. So let's talk about it. Leave all your comments down below, and I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all.